Hello. Yeah, I'm gonna say that a lot actually. Cause I haven't really done a YouTube video. Actually, that's a lie. I have done a YouTube video before. I filmed one with a camera, on my face, and that was really big for me, cause like I never really filmed anything on my face. The problem is that I lost the audio recording for that. And also, well, actually, that's a lie. I did find the audio recording for it, but it didn't really work well, and it was buggy, and my words didn't match up with my lips. I'm not sure if that's gonna happen with this. It might, but oh well. So anyway, after that introduction. This is the very first project in a long series of projects that I call projects. Very original, I know. So I'm assuming you have read the blog post that I made, unless why would you be here? But let me put some clarifications on what the rules of the projects were. So originally it was supposed to be me making a project every single day, but that's not really nice, because it should be a week, because a week is a nice point in which I actually learn and get to try out all the new stuff that I learned. And I didn't do that when I did a daily challenge, so it's a lot nicer if it was a weekly. So that's why I changed it. Another thing is the purpose of this thing is for me to learn stuff, and it's for me to actually learn a new skill. And that's kind of like my excuse for like copying a lot of other people's projects, because is that I get to learn something from them. So that's what the projects are. It's not necessarily passion projects like a lot of other stuff are that I do. If you want to listen, if you want to listen to some other passion project stuff, I'm currently working on multi-robot systems. I'm using some TI chips. I think they're CC340s, and and I'm trying to make some multi-robot systems out of them. So that's a passion project. This is more of like I want to go back to projects, doing cool, fun stuff, and I want to learn and expand my skill set. So this is what this is. And honestly, it's really fun, and I'm really glad that I did it. So anyway, as you can see, it's in Unity. And as you can see by the way that it's built, well, actually, you can't see. Oh, I lost my words again. I tried this once and it didn't work out, and I'm trying this again. But I made a game in Unity, and I have already made games in Unity before, because it's Unity, it's free, and like how fun is that? But I never actually really delved into multiplayer games, Unity games. So that's why I wanted to like play around, and that's why I wanted to learn. So like, how does one build a multiplayer game in Unity? And I wanted to do it for free, so I didn't really bother with server stuff. So I mean, as you can see from the level, I followed a tutorial online. And from the tutorial online, I basically copied a level over and made this. Cool. I think it looks really cool, actually. I followed the tutorial for the multiplayer FPS by Quill18 Creates. You should definitely follow him, because if you want to make a Unity game yourself, just go to him for all the tutorials ever, because that's what I basically used to make this. Except I changed a couple things. For like example, the levels aren't completely the same, and I made 2 of them, and I didn't really want to work with textures and generated texture maps and such. I just wanted to make I wanted to focus solely on the multiplayer aspect, which I have, and I made something that kind of works. Now the kind of part I will get back to later. But anyway, so I learned a lot of things. So first of all, so let's get that out of the way. What have I learned? How did this help me expand my skill set? I learned how what goes into like multiplayer games, and how like multiplayer scripts are implemented. Cause like how I previously thought was like you spawn a player, and you spawn all the other players in a given space, and it runs, and that's what it does. But I never actually consider like what it does to the local machine, how the local machine handles it to lessen the memory load. So all those stuff I learned. I learned how. I guess I had a bit more practice, and I actually made something that is technically playable. Unfortunately, there's a particular things that don't really work well. The first thing that you're gonna notice is that, okay, let me try to explain to you what the game is. The game is that I have these really interesting jump points and stuff. So I wanted to make it a multiplayer game in which you like run around to these checkpoints, and but you're holding a bomb, and that bomb explodes after a certain amount of time, and you go to the checkpoints to add time. That's one aspect to it, and another aspect is it's multiplayer, so you have to go around and tag other people so the bomb transfers over to them. And so that's the game I was thinking of, and I made all the assets and all the scripts for it. Unfortunately, I met up with an error that doesn't allow me to actually test anything. If you see right here, player controller, the FPS controls that I wrote, unfortunately comes with this error. And I found a way of fixing it. I believe this is a Unity bug, because the script is completely fine. It should be working all nice. But I believe this is a Unity bug, because I tried to find the solution on the forums, and apparently there is a solution, but it involves like re-importing all the scripts, like deleting all your scripts, well actually putting the scripts in a backup folder, deleting all your scripts, then re-importing all your scripts. It's really weird and I don't really like it, but apparently that's the solution, which is like, no, because as you can see, I have a lot of assets that I downloaded, such as like the most part is the Photon Unity thing, the Photon Unity scripts, and the levels also kind of bugged out because the bug came when you're supposed to simply export the .blend file to Unity, but it's not working, so I had to export it as an FBX, which I guess does work fine. The problem is that I have to, like, every time I change something on the .blend file, I have to re-export and re-import, which is, I don't know, it's just a problem that shouldn't be there, but it is. Same with this, like this, because I don't have two computers to work on, so I can't test the multiplayer, so I have to work one within the editor and two builds. But this bug came up suddenly when I tried to mess with stuff. Well, not mess with stuff, I had to write a single line of code, and that kind of broke everything. And everything's fine, I wrote it correctly, nothing's wrong on that part, it's just that the associate script, I'll put a link down in the description to the forum in which apparently the problem gets solved. But okay, getting back to the point, I do have a working version running, kind of, in which I have a working version of, I built a build of this beforehand, before I added all the other actual gameplay to it, but it does show how multiplayer works. Again, I can't really test it because of but let me just pull up the because like I can't play this. I can't play this right now. But the FPS control script. So the FPS control script has the camera. So right now when you come into the game, it's just black and nothing really happens. If you go to the scene, it did spawn it. Yeah, it did spawn right here. The player. Let me. Yeah, it's not like it's not spawning it. It has everything it needs. It's just that this script, I'm indicating with my mouse. And the script has an error on it, so it's not really working well. But I guess we all just have to deal with that. But that said, I have a kind of working version of it without all the gameplay in terms of like all these, the goals of all the checkpoint spawning and all that running around. But I still have to show an unfinished product because that's what I promised myself. So here is the unfinished product. It's not really much. Let me get it to run first. But yeah, that's basically what I did for this week. It wasn't too far out of my own comfort zone because I worked with Unity multiple times. But this is the very first project in this series of projects. I promise you I'll do a lot of other interesting stuff later on. For example, I'm really interested in tilt shift photography, because editing tilt shift photography, not actually taking the picture. The best camera I have is my phone. But I'm really interested in like photo editing tilt shift photography. That seems like a really fun thing. Oh, anyway, graphics quality fastest. Multiplayer FPS configuration. Oh, the Unity 5.0 logo. That's another thing. Like the tutorial was written in the. Oh, see, that bit basically proves that this is online. I mean, all the scripts work. But yeah, the reason why it is kind of laggy is that I am using a screen recorder, a really crappy screen recorder, because I don't want to use fraps. Woo! Oh, I also have these teleport things to like go up the higher levels, because I didn't want to program ladders, and I already had an asset of a teleporter, so I just used that one. So yeah, you can jump around, but this lag comes from this crappy screen recorder that I'm using, not the actual game. The game runs. I mean, of course it runs smoothly, because like there's that much stuff. There's not a lot of stuff in it, and it's a relatively simple game. So even though I learned how to do a bit of optimization on it, there isn't a lot of stuff to optimize, or I guess not a lot of stuff to optimize, but a lot of need to optimize. Also, you can climb up these walls, because yeah, it's a kind of buggy. It's like I can climb up these walls. So yeah, but it as you can see, I'm gonna try to, and also I haven't cleared the mouse, so it's fine. As you can see, it's joined and made a room, and it's logged on. So if I was able, I fell to my death. If I did actually run this in the editor, I would see two entities within the game world, and it would be online, and it would work nicely, and all the game objects would spawn. But unfortunately, it doesn't, because I met a bug that I can't solve, and today is Saturday, and I can't really and I don't want to continue on, and I can't continue on because those were the rules of the challenge that I set for myself. But anyway, multiplayer FPS, I might still continue working on this, because like I want to see it done, I guess, but unfortunately, this tiny bug, kind of might mean that I have to re-import all of the scripts, or delete all of them, then get them back, import them back from the backup that I would have saved. So it's kind of weird. I don't really like that, but unfortunately that may be what I have to end up doing. But anyway, I'm really yeah, I got to a point where I was able to make a thing, and I learned how to make a multiplayer game in the future. So that was the very first project in the long-standing series of projects. Expect one next week. I hinted at that it might be tilt-shift photography. I might be wrong. It might not be tilt-shift photography. It might be something else. It might have to deal with the TI chips, with the CC430s, the radio, the ones with the RFs in them. Because I have no experience on programming those types of chips, or using them, I should say. But that also might go on this week. But anywho, the very first project in the series of projects. Thank you for listening. Bye.